Oracle Chinedu. The time is 17 minutes past 3 p.m. on the 22nd day of the ninth month in 2025. It's drizzling outside, at least in these parts. I'm not quite sure what's happening at your end, but I'd like some updates. Is it raining at your end as well? Well, consider it showers of blessings, except, of course, you did laundry. I can imagine and understand why you would not want the rain. Well, we have been reunited for the purpose of breaking down the facts, as we always do on Hard Facts. The big stories begins the show. Fubara claims prayers of Rivers people sustained him through political crisis. Ibas rejects Rivers Assembly probe of 254 billion naira 6-month spending. Bulk buyers dump middlemen for direct Dangote supply. And the police claims that the 2nd of October begins the enforcement of tinted permits. That's for vehicle owners. At 4 o'clock, we'll be talking about the emergency rule, as the governor of the state has assured nothing lost in peace resolution. I'll have an analyst, a stakeholder, possibly a statesman, join me for that conversation. And at 5, still connected to the emergency rule, I call it River State Reacts. You will find out what it is when we get there. So stay with us. 6 brings the major news. After that, it's open season. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Hard Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. Rivers State Governor Simonilai Fubara says he would not have survived the recent political crisis without the prayers of Rivers people. He made the remark during a Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's Anglican Church in Opobonkoro local government area on Sunday. The governor reaffirmed his commitment to serving the state and asking for continued prayers and support for his administration as it charts a renewed course of leadership.
We wouldn't have survived it without your prayers. Thank you to the Almighty God, and thank you for these my native people who have always made this sacrifice of fasting, praying for my survival, praying for anything that will bring shame upon my life, that God should remove it. I'm here to say God has answered your prayer. Continue to pray for us, because we are starting the journey again, and the prayer is even needed more at this time.
Okay. Well, the service featured special prayers led by Vicar of St. Paul's Anglican Church, Venerable Emmanuel Wuju, for the success of the administration and the peace and prosperity of Rivers State and Nigeria. Governor Fubara attended the service with his wife, Lady Valerie Similai Fubara, the Chief of Staff of the state. But he didn't say that they prayed for the solution, for the conciliation, for the and progress solution, for the conciliation, for the and progress we are enjoying. And then thanks the human vessels used to connect to the divine, get him back. So some only prayed. Some prayed short prayers, others prayed long, others fasting. Whether you prayed a 2-minute prayer, you prayed all night, you declared 7 days, the governor thanks you. And as we bask in the euphoria of the end of the emergency rule, the return of the governor, the perceived peace in the state, the unity of supporters, and the synergy of the arms of government, everything, every update, every reaction, every story is worth attention at this time. If the the State Assembly says or does not say, it makes the news. And it's a topic for conversation. Well, speaking about reactions, the President General of Grassroots Development Initiative, GDI, Bright Amehule, was in the studio this morning with my colleague Andrew, and he criticized the turnout of Governor Similai Fubara's supporters who gathered to welcome him at the airport last week. Amehule, a loyalist of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, argued that the governor should not have permitted such a reception. He shouldn't have. Why would he? Could he? Should he?
Governor of Rivers State is not for a particular group. It's for the people of Rivers State. The governor would have allowed what happened. The return of the governor is not something that some persons will now say, our governor. They took it from the wrong side. They didn't take it the way that the governor will even succeed. They just took it the way that, they want one problem. They would allow the governor to return. Assume office. At the appropriate time, very, very appropriate time, the governor would have initiated a move where all of us would have gathered together and say, His Excellency, welcome back to Government House.
Amehule also said that to bridge the divide between Governor Fubara's supporters and those loyal to the FCT minister, the governor should organize a meeting with leaders of the FCT minister's camp to foster peace and ensure the smooth administration of the state.
The governor to call for a gathering, maybe a meeting, and talk to the people. And this gathering should include the leaders, the leaders of the states. After that, these people can now go back to the grassroots and talk to their people to embrace peace and embrace each other. Otherwise, no problem. Go ahead, do your governorship.
He further questioned why supporters of Governor Fubara did not also welcome the State Assembly members.
Why didn't they go to receive the assembly members? That's the state. They don't understand what they are doing. The assembly members already announced that they were going to sit. So at the point of the assembly members now going back to sit, they would have as well moved to a place of sitting and then receive them, welcome them, and show solidarity than being sentimental. So what they just show to Rivers people is that, look, we are in support of governor, we are against assembly. So how can they work together?
Okay. So obviously, Amehule's position is also another up for debate. I'm certain listening, you already have your position. Maybe when you call, you share those thoughts and opinions. But I like to approach matters like this with questions, right? And yes, I may have what I feel and my opinions on this subject, but usually questions help to get us to a better place. And I'm certain my colleague, Andrew, did an amazing job while having conversations with Bright Amehule. So before I ask the questions I have, and I'm hoping that Bright or someone who knows him is listening, let me play what he said again so that I again get it right so I can ask the right questions.
Governor of Rivers State is not for a particular group. It's for the people of River State. The governor would have allowed what happened. The return of the governor is not something that some persons will now say, our governor. They took it from the wrong side. They didn't take it the way that the governor will even succeed. They just took it the way that, they want one problem. They would allow the governor to return. Assume office. At the appropriate time, very, very appropriate time, the governor would have initiated a move where all of us would have gathered together and say, His Excellency, welcome back to Government House.
Okay. So let's take it from the perspective of the English language, right? So I'm not being political, I'm being grammatical. If you understand the meaning of the word reception, or let's even throw reception away, welcome. Usually it happens when the person just came. Now, this is not a question of pro-Sim or pro-Wike. Amehule is faulting the reception. They should not have gone to welcome governor because it will bring problems, according to him. Now, they should have allowed him return to office, assume office, then he eventually initiates a meeting. That's when they will now tell him welcome. I don't know how it works, but I think welcome is sweet when the person just came in. At least the one I do. Maybe this is the 2025 version of a reception. Secondly, they gathered. I know that there are controversies and debate as to how the crowd gathered. Some say they are sponsored, they were paid. Others say no, it's the well-meaning supporters and lovers of peace, progress, prosperity, and passion. And those that love the governor. It doesn't matter. Whether they love the governor, they hate the governor, or they love the money that allegedly they were paid. The point is they gathered to tell a man who they have been praying and fasting for 6 months that they have not seen. Oyoyo, as we say in Nigeria. And I think that the airport seemed like the best place to receive. But maybe, yes, you can argue from the perspective of the inconvenience to the state. All those who maybe landed or flew that day must have been inconvenienced, the traffic, all of that. Yes, if I were going to Lagos or Abuja and that crowd were welcoming Sim Fubara, I would have been inconvenienced, right? It's something I would very likely complain about. So there's that perspective, which I can agree with. So, should the governor have sent a message? Say, no, if anybody is coming to welcome me, no, because of this peace, this very important peace that somehow is always eluding River State. We've had 6 months of emergency rule. We've had an administrator that sat in the chair that I normally enjoy in government house. I was suspended. The deputy governor was suspended. The assembly members, 20-something of them suspended. The crisis, the chaos, the controversy, all of the things in River State that shut down law and order. The state was lawless, useless. And so the emergency rule was ordered by the president to bring back some sanity. So if these people welcome me on the day I'm coming back, they will scatter everything that has been repaired. All the 6 months of work, stakeholder engagement, planning, mapping. No, they should not have gathered. No, why did they do that? They have spoiled things.
Governor of River State is not for a particular group. It's for the people of River State. The governor would have allowed what happened. The return of the governor is not something that some persons will now say, our governor. They took it from the wrong side. They didn't take it the way that the governor will even succeed. They just took it the way that, they want one problem. They would allow the governor to return. Assume office. At the appropriate time, very, very appropriate time, the governor would have initiated a move where all of us would have gathered together and say, His Excellency, welcome back to Government House.
Okay, so assume office at the appropriate time. The governor himself will now initiate the move. Meaning that as he came back, he's the one that will now say, okay, it's time for you people to welcome me. It's not the people that will initiate the move. Those that want to welcome, no. It's the governor that will come back, assume office, maybe execute 1 or 2 projects, complete the ring road. Say, no, it's not enough. Let's touch education. Then at the appropriate time, we'll not say, Fubara don't come back. You say he's the one. No be Ibas, but I say, no, it's Fubi. He will not say, please, I want to constitute a coalition. You people should not come and welcome me. Then, where will be the best place? Obi Wale. Now, is big enough to capture everybody that wants to welcome the governor. They say, Governor, welcome. We missed you. Even though we just saw you yesterday. But we really missed you. So those are the questions that I have. Does welcome or a reception work differently in this part because of River State politics? I'd like to know. Well, we'll move from that headline to the administrator, former Rivers administrator. My goodness, I said it last week and I'll repeat it again. Look at what time has done from River State administrator to former River State administrator. Retired Vice Admiral Ibas saying lawmakers lack the powers to probe his 6-month tenure. But the Assembly insists on investigating over 254 billion naira spent, while civil society groups demand accountability and Governor Fubara's call for prayers as he resumes office. Now, River State received at least 254.37 billion naira from the FAC, that's Federation Account Allocation Committee, between March and August 2025 under the tenure of the sole administrator. The figure is based on analysis of FAC data from the NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, and other sources. So because we know what comes in every month by way of allocation, we're able to calculate, okay, January this came in, February this came in, right? So based on what we know that is already in the public domain, which is the Bureau of Statistics, we can say that 254 billion is the amount that the assembly members are trying to probe based on what they know came into River State. Now, the MBS released official breakdown up to June. The figures for July and August were collated from documents presented at FAC meetings. So these are public records. Those who care to look know the amount. The question they're asking is, where is the money? Or what was it used for? The data shows that River State took 44.66 billion in March, 44.42 billion in April, 42.80 billion in May, 42.30 billion in June, 38.42 billion in July. And while in August, it collected 41.76 billion, according to the FAC documents that are in the public domain and that was analyzed. So the total brought it to 254.37 billion, averaging around 42 billion every month. So the administrator says, Rivers, not just Rivers, but the legislature, you don't have the power, the audacity, the temerity, the muscle, the wherewithal to probe me. Because if you probe me, you probe the president. He sent me. And I came here to deliver. If you have any questions, take it up with His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief, my God, of the Armed Forces. And Ibas is right. Because as stated by legal practitioners, analysts, and those who have a good head on their shoulders, the River State Assembly cannot probe the administrator at this time. It is the call of the National Assembly if there's going to be a probe. Should there be a probe? I personally feel there should be. But it should come from National Assembly, not the State Assembly members. So it's their call. Let's hope. Or better yet, well, they represent the people. The people can always call for that. I believe there will be a probe. Moving on, as Dangote Refinery launches direct fuel distribution scheme, bulk fuel consumers and filling stations are dumping their middlemen suppliers for Dangote's free delivery. The president of National Association of Road Transport Owners, Yusuf Othman, stated on a live television program, Othman condemned the free delivery of fuel to filling stations, telecom companies, and other bulk users, saying buyers have now jettisoned the contract signed with his members to receive free delivery from Dangote. The NATO president explained that his members have up to 30,000 trucks and cannot do the business of fuel distribution free of charge. We have our members who have signed agreements with so many companies. Some are even informal agreements. but we have formal agreements signed. And by that, we use those formal agreements to collect bank facilities, to buy trucks and serve those companies. But now those agreements are at stake because a big brother is coming to supply directly to them, not minding the fact that they have signed documents with us. Well, that's the position of the president of National Association of Road Transport Owners, Mr. Yusuf Othman. Well, Mr. Yusuf, evolution in business is constant. While I understand that you may have incurred losses, this is not good for your business model. You have to have some kind of insurance that helps to insulate you in situations where the market heads in another direction. Anybody who's been in business long enough knows that one day the business model that you currently operate and enjoy might change. One government policy, one private player getting into the market, something just makes the system of doing things that you are used to irrelevant. So you should be prepared. If you're saying that Dangote should not deliver free of charge directly to those who need it because you have agreement, think about it. Let's look at it from the perspective of common sense. At the office last week, of course, I bought something and, I usually use the office because it's easy to locate. So the dispatch rider got here and the delivery fee was 3,500 naira. Now, mind you, I have paid for the item that I bought from the vendor. The 3,500 is to get it from the location of the vendor, the person selling it, to where I am. Meaning that for me to see what I bought and own it, I have to pay 3,500 besides the cost price. Is that a problem? Not exactly. You know how it works, right? So I did pay. Imagine if when I'm about to buy, the vendor or another vendor says, delivery is free. Once you pay the price for what you are buying, we deliver to you wherever you are in the country. Free of charge. We'll come to your gate, you just collect it and go. And then because I know how much the thing costs, I go to the market or go online and check the price. The price for the vendor who promises free delivery is not different. It's the same price that other people are offering. But in his case, he gives it to me free. I think common sense. You don't even have to be a smart business person. You just have to have sense. Would have me choose the option of free delivery because he saves me money. And as a business person who would obviously be getting deliveries every 2 weeks, that's a lot of 3,500s. In my case, it was 3,500. Of course, it compounds with the businessman. The only reason why anybody would not take the option of free delivery is for personal reasons. Maybe they, on their own, have a problem with that business. Say, oh no, I don't like the man. But beyond personal reasons, if there's nothing else, people would very likely head in that direction. And you're talking those who buy in bulk. You're talking very big companies because they don't buy from your filling station. It's the tankers that deliver to them. You're talking the telecom companies, right? You're talking, there are lots of people in this bracket that get these deliveries. Now they won't pay for it. We don't know how long Dangote will do this promo for, but now that it is on, like we say in Nigeria, offer valid while stock lasts. As the stock is here now, let us leverage on the offer. Take advantage of it. So truck drivers, find a way to evolve because times are changing. It won't always be like this. And maybe tomorrow, we will not even need Dangote delivering free anymore. There might be another business model that helps the end consumer. But nobody is going to refuse to evolve simply because you've signed contracts with those who you want to pay more to get the same product, maybe even a lower quality. It's that simple. It's common sense. So, Mr. Yusuf Othman, it's time to have a meeting, re-strategize, evolve, or like they say, or die. Finally, the last big story before I take calls. The Nigeria Police says enforcement of tinted glass permits begins nationwide on the 2nd of October 2025. Jigawa's police spokesman, SP Shisu Adam, announced that applications must be done online via posap.gov.ng. That's POSSAP.gov.ng. with applicants required to provide their NIN, BVN, or TIN, upload vehicle details, and complete biometric capturing at designated intelligence departments. He warned motorists against patronizing unauthorized agents, stressing that the process is transparent and aimed at boosting accountability and road safety. Well, there's a lawsuit because the NBA is taking the police chief to court over the tinted glass permit policy. The NBA says the policy, which forces motorists to renew permits every year, is unlawful and infringes on basic rights like privacy and freedom of movement. So we'll follow that to know what is made of that lawsuit. But I've shared my opinion on this. Why is it renewable every year? If I get a tinted permit in 2025, why do I need to pay again for another one in 2026 if I'm still using the same car? Did I suddenly lose my ability to drive a tinted car? Am I suddenly a threat to national security within a space of 12 months? These are questions that must be answered. It's time to hear from you. 0817-923-0002. Fubara claims prayers of Rivers people sustained him. This is also as the President General of GDI criticized the turnouts of Governor Sim's supporters who gathered to welcome him. Ibas rejects Rivers Assembly probe of 254 billion naira 6-month spending. Bulk buyers are dumping the middlemen for Direct Dangote supply. And tinted glass permit enforcement begins on the 2nd of October. The numbers once again, 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080 903 06416. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. Please turn off your radio as you call. I'll be taking my first call shortly. Okay, let's see. Oh my, lots of messages here already. Good day, Sam. This is Fine Mind. The governor has proven that he's a good man who fears God. It's a blessing to the state, though I don't love every of the governor's action. I love him as a person. Imagine what would have happened in the state if he wasn't this peaceful and decorous. With a derogatory and disrespectful statement from Amehuli towards the governor, it shows those at the camp of the FCT minister are not ready for peace. We Rivers people are ready for them. Mufasa calls from NT Road. Hello, Mufasa. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, Sam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, happy new week to you.
I wish you the same.
What? I said happy new week to you, my brother.
Right, thanks. I wish you the same.
Yeah, thank you. The governor has alluded the victory that he had, because what I want to look at it from any angle, it's still a victory for Rivers people, the return of democracy to prayers, from Rivers people. And you said you are not aware of a prayer group. I'm aware of one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, among several. There is called the Rivers Women Unite for Sin.
Oh.
Yeah, but that they have every day of the week, I think every last Thursday or so, where they come out to pray for the governor. So that could also be one of several prayers that Rivers people prayed for him. But having said that, you see, the statement credited to the President General of GDI, I think that particular position for me is antagonistic to logic and anything that makes common sense to me. A governor that is loved by his people, and these people came out spontaneously to welcome their governor, and you are forcing and insulting them. That doesn't fit well. If he could have as well organized his own group to go and welcome the House of Assembly members. You don't begin to castigate people for taking their own personal decisions. It doesn't add water to me. So for me, I think such positions does not portray anybody that wants peace state.
Okay.
Claiming that it has returned. Let other people's opinion and decision. People shouldn't act based on what you want. It doesn't add up to me.
All right.
That's fantastic. Awesome.
Thank you very much, Mufasa. Steve calls from Port Harcourt. I've lost that call. Jude from Amuma. Good evening.
Good evening, Sam.
Good evening.
Yeah, what Amehule said regarding the governor, the Amehule from GDI, the boss, I would simply say that it serves the governor right, very, very right. Because the governor got to the peak of his career, accountant general, and he allowed former Governor Wike to use him to run a third tenure, giving him conditions. This is what you do, this is not what you will do when I make you a governor. That's what is playing out now. He allowed himself to be used. And now GDI is a product of former Governor Wike. It is baby. And that's why they're talking the way they do now. As somebody, a professional, who has made his career and even made the former Governor Wike himself, because they entered into an agreement. We, the Rivers people, do not know what that agreement says. All we are hearing is the governor has broken that agreement. And that's why they're on his well, I don't want to use that word. That's why they're on his neck. He allowed the wicked to use him, getting conditions. You will do this, you will not do that. And now he's being held hostage. Now they're telling him you shouldn't have allowed people receive you or welcome you. Can you imagine that kind of condition? And now, what do we do? So he should accept whatever that comes his way.
Okay.
That's for me. That's this somebody being, I don't know, because somebody wanting everything all at a time.
All right.
He wouldn't have accepted that condition. It's the condition that is putting us or putting him and the Rivers people into what we do not even know.
Thank you very much. I have to move on now. Obed from NTA Road. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tan.
Good afternoon. Please turn off your radio.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, Mr. Tan. I think the problem we have in Nigeria general, of course, Rivers State is a microcosm of what Nigeria represents. That problem remains the fact that we have proper electoral system where somebody have the access to change election results. If not, I wouldn't see a place where somebody would tell us that governor should tell the people who will come and welcome him. You know, because you are claiming ownership of the state. Therefore, the governor does not have rights. Anybody cannot welcome the governor. Rivers people cannot go there and welcome the governor. I wasn't part of people who went there to welcome governor, but people who went there does not need any consultation from anybody because they are Rivers people. You understand? Like the last caller was trying to say agreement the governor had with whoever before he became governor. Look, I don't see that. It's neither here nor there, Mr. Sam. You understand me? Because somebody cannot have agreement on what doesn't belong to you. You want to have agreement with somebody who is about to, occupy office that he doesn't own a state, and you have agreement. I don't see any agreement anywhere. If the governor choose to play the other way around and the rest of them, that is not our business. All what we know that Rivers money must be for Rivers people, and that's what we stand on this why. And that is why I draw reference on the 40 electoral system that we have in Nigeria. So, Bryce Amehule does not have any right or whoever to tell governor who will welcome him or whoever. Bryce Amehule is somebody who doesn't see anything wrong in any side they are taking. Anything he said is hard to do, he won't see anything wrong because I followed him even when he was a former task force chairman in Rivers State. We saw what the task force did here.
All right.
The essence that task force this one, Bryce Amehule was still fighting the same task force. You understand? So,
Okay, Obed.
Rivers people does not need permission from Bryce Amehule before they will go and welcome governor.
All right, thank you very much. I do have to move on now. I'll get back to the phone lines shortly. GDI leader is one of the people that doesn't like peace in the state. Imao Taka says, I was enjoying the state of emergency. Politicians were no longer coming on radio to heat up the polity. Ernest from Woji says, greetings, Oracle. If only the erstwhile sole administrator, Ibas, had stuck strictly to the terms of a genuine state of emergency where he would have been solely in charge of security vote, then his redirecting his probe to Mr. President would have been somehow appropriate. However, he came, assumed the full powers of an elected governor, controlled the entire pulse of the state, and today, when he wants to be questioned, he's doing redirecting. Well, he can have the temerity to say this. After all, as they say in our local parlance, not them. Godwin from Chinda says, okay. Amehule is making trouble. Rivers people came out en masse to receive their governor. What's wrong with that? It seemed not the governor of the assembly members, the LGA chairman, the appointees, and even Amehule, Wiki and GDI. Why didn't they all go and welcome the governor if they truly signed the peace pact? Wiki and his supporters do not believe in peace. To them, peace is total surrender. God is watching them. Otis from Port Hackett says, after the break, we'll take a few more messages. Stay with us.